Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And that's your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi, folks. Welcome back. This is the question that every American, Democrat or Republican, every independent, even people that don't give a damn and don't care either way, those that hate Donald Trump, those that love Donald Trump, and a whole bunch in between are all asking the same question, including his wife, probably a lot of his aides, maybe even a lot of his family members. Will he run again? And I put a picture of Groveland, Cleveland there because he is the only president ever to have two terms but not non-consecutive. He was the 23rd and the 24th president. Now, that would be quite an ego booster for Trump, a little feather in his cap, and we all know he's got a pretty good ego, and I'm a huge Trump fan. I'm not putting the guy down. That's just the way it is. He will go down in history as only the second president ever in U.S. history to go for two terms, non-consecutive. It'll be something. It really will. Will he do it? The whole world's asking. And we have to ask ourselves, should he run again? But I think this video is about will he run again is much more appropriate. I'll tell you, he's got a huge, huge following. I've never seen anyone besides Barack Obama in my lifetime that had such a huge following. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely incredible. It's really, truly something. I think I saw the last poll concerning Republicans. He's in the 90 plus percentile. I believe it was 93 or 94% of Republicans said they would vote for Trump again. That's astounding. And I got to say, I'm not being critical of President Trump when I say this, but he messed up in a lot of ways. And not because he's inept and not because he's not intelligent enough. It's because he's not a swamp creature. And he believed people. He trusted people that they were all on the same team. And as we found out, the Democrats just... How does that go? They said to me one time here, I was a councilman in upstate New York. I was kind of a very conservative Democrat. I'm now a Republican. And they said to the local progressive group, they want me killed, my body burned, and my ashes sent into space. And I said, hopefully in that order. And that's pretty much what they want with Donald Trump. In a lot of ways, Donald Trump is by far, the biggest challenge and nightmare to the progressive and leftist Democrats. Also, the deep state / swamp, the intelligence services, and all those agencies that have let us down, especially lately. You know, I notice he's been holding back a little bit. I know he has his office that sends out messages. And he has toned it back quite a bit. So I think he learned the old Napoleon saying, never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. Will it be that, well, we all know for certain if he runs again who his running mate's not going to be. It's not going to be President Joe Biden. It's just not going to happen. My guess, and I still hold by it even though it's getting harder and harder to have that guess come true, is that this coming January, now it is early September, this coming January you'll get something like this from the White House. In deep sadness, President Joe Biden will be resigning at noon on, we'll say, he'll probably pick January 20th because that's Inauguration Day normally. He really doesn't want to, but talking to his physicians and his family and his deep, close friends. It's in the best interest of the country with the huge challenges coming ahead to have someone younger and more capable. And even though I don't want to, I'm putting the country first. And how's that going, Charlie Brown and the adults? Wah, 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 wah. Now, that leaves us with President Kamala Harris, the current vice president. Will the Democrats pick her? That's a damn good question. But that's another video for another time. I think no matter who the Democrat is, I can't see anyone that's even close to being a moderate, which basically Trump was a lot of his life. He was a very moderate Democrat. Now he is the poster boy for the new Republican Party, and it's changing, and it's taking shape. There is a civil war going on in the Republican Party as well as the Democrats. But the Democrats are killing each other in their civil war. There's a story I read about thousands and thousands and thousands of Republican committee members all over the country, from school board levels to city councils to mayors, are basically taking over, and they're all mega people. And that's the way you do it. You don't hang your dirty laundry out in public. And the Democrats are fighting behind the scenes too, but their dispute is a little more public. But one thing I will say the Democrats always do, or so it seems, they always stick together no matter what. Now, the big question still remains, will he run again? I mean, these are some older pictures of Trump rallies. I mean, look at these crowds. Look at the support this man has. It's absolutely unbelievable. I'll tell you the truth, honestly, myself, I think he's waiting for the results of the midterms. And I'll be 65 this November. I mean, there isn't a lot of time left, God willing. We'll see how long I have, but I would love to see him win again. I would love to see him crush the deep state in the swamp, and this time he'll clean it out. He was famous for saying, "You're fired." And that's what he should have done when he got sworn in 2017. He should have a whole entire White House wing and everyone fire all their asses and start over. But he believed in Republicans. He thought they were on their side. One thing about Donald Trump, like him or not, he never, ever makes the same mistake twice. And just the support that he has, it's just unbelievable. It truly is. I've never seen anything like it. The enthusiasm. There's only one president in my lifetime that comes close to this enthusiasm, and that's Barack Obama. And that was right after a disaster of when the economy was going down the toilet. Layoffs were all over the place. And Barack Obama was an incredible public speaker and incredibly charismatic. Now, Trump is working on his public speaking. He's getting better and better. But he does have charisma. He does have stage presence. Obama does too. These guys don't come along. Bill Clinton had stage presence. John Kennedy had stage presence. And that's about it for my lifetime. Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, John Kennedy, they all had stage presence. Whether you agree with their ideology, what they wanted to do, is a different issue. Rock star-like quality. I mean, look at this. Look at these crowds. And they're all still for him. And here's the really interesting part that scares the heck out of Democrats. The Republican Party, I think, because of Trump, has made huge, huge inroads in the Hispanic community, whatever that is. I hate calling it that because not all Hispanic people think alike, unlike what the Democrats think. But if people of Hispanic descent, especially along the border of all places, are coming around to Trump, there were 2 congressional districts on the Rio Grande River, on the border in Texas. They were like plus 8, 10 Hillary Clinton in 2016. In 2020, they were like plus 15 Trump. That's a 25-point swing. That never happens in 4 years. It's amazing. It's absolutely astounding, the inroads he's made with people of Hispanic descent. And as far as African Americans go, yeah, he's inched up. It's not as much as I would like. And he's done very well with black young men and black men in general. Black women, A little tougher. But he's increased it to double digits and even higher now in many areas. One thing I'll tell you the truth, what they do is they believe in him. They believe in Trump. Here's what happened, especially after the 2020 election, 2016 to be certain, but especially after the 2020 election. The 75 million people that voted for Trump, it's approximate, I forget what the number is, the 70 million something. The Democrats in Washington just wrote those people off like they didn't even exist, like they didn't even matter. They didn't care. They didn't care what they believed in. They didn't care what their concerns were. They didn't care. They had their majority, and they had a majority of votes, and that's all they cared about. They forgot 70 million odd people. And that is going to be their doom. Does Trump have his personality quirks? You bet. A bunch of them. Don't we all? I got a bunch. I'm sure everybody else does too. But they didn't care. Because promises made, promises kept. Considering he only had 2 years out of the 4, and then during that 4 years, he had every Democrat wanting him burned at the stake and thrown out of office. And half the Republicans didn't want him either. Considering he was fighting 3/4 of the swamp and the entire intelligence service and all the deep state departments, Department of Justice, CIA, FBI, you name it. He did very well considering, very well. In 2 years, that's all he had. That's one term in Congress, 2 years. If any Congress member, I don't care if they're even the speaker, can get that much done in 2 years. Paul Ryan was working against him, Mitch McConnell, the speaker, the Senate Majority Leader. Of course, they did that at their doom, and of course, they lost in 2018 the majority in the House. And in 2020, they lost the Senate by a hair's breadth, but they still lost it. They believe in Trump. These people, for 2 generations, coming up on 3 now, have been ignored in the Midwest, a lot in the Northeast, where I live in upstate New York, rural areas where the economy is just ruined. Drug addiction through the roof. And they tried to get help. They tried. Nobody believed in them. Nobody. And then Trump came along and filled that void. And they love him for it. Finally got somebody. They finally got somebody that believed in them. Will Trump run again? I don't know. It's hard to say. My gut tells me that he will. My gut tells me that he will for a lot of reasons. He's got unfinished business. And if I know Trump, at least as much as you can know somebody you don't know personally, he's got some debts to pay back, so to speak. The people that screwed him over, all the Democrats, and quite a few Republicans. And the Trump mega people are going by the thousands to fill in election commission spots all over the country. Mega candidates are moving up and winning. He's endorsing them for everything from local school boards all the way through Congress and the U.S. Senate. He's rebuilding the party. He's transforming the party. And, of course, Mitch McConnell and them don't see it as a positive thing. They are part of the uniparty. The Democrats are split too. But at least the MAGA people coming up from the ground up is 10 times better than the progressives and leftists that took over the Democrat Party. Way better. Way better. It's going to be interesting to see. I think he's waiting for the midterms. depending on what a huge victory it is. But I put him running at 65% yes, 35% no. There's a couple of factors we won't see, maybe his health, even though he seems in excellent shape. He's one of the few presidents I ever saw that didn't age when he was in office. It's amazing. And what Melania's going to do, Melania with her son Barron, I don't think she wants to go back to Washington. But I think she'll be treated a lot better this time. But I think she went through such a traumatic experience with those monsters in the media in Washington. I don't think she's ever want to go back. Ever. And frankly, I can't blame her. But I'll be heartbroken if he doesn't. So is Trump going to run again? We'll have to see. At the RNC convention from Venezuela said it best. You Americans don't understand how important you are and how good this country is. And he said, if America falls, the rest of the world has no place else to go. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.